This is The Fish Diss Track by Stephen Cogswell. Get it at awtfy.com. That's AWTFY/fish.
My Fish Diss album. I'm going to spend the next 72 minutes, the full length of this CD, tearing apart fish. How to have a happy fish, let them look at themselves, cause fish are vain just like people. Fuck them.
Oh, shit! We got a fish diss track, the likes of which we have never seen. Brian Brushwood is tearing these motherfuckers to pieces. Oh, drop the fish flakes, bitch. Eat them up the way you eat up these diss tracks from Brian Brushwood. Go!
We got hard fish, soft fish, fish sticks, fish dicks. We got fish anus, fish banus, fish planus, and all the fish Uranus. That's right, an entire planet the size of a fish. Or is it a fish the size of a planet? How to have a happy fish, let them look at themselves, cause fish are vain just like people. Fuck them.
The realest fish disses ever written. Go, Rod, go!
You know what? Maybe it's good that tuna and dolphins are both being caught in those nets, because they're both fish.
It makes me wet.
He drops the bait. You're a dumb bass, you piece of shit. Glub, 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 you dumb motherfucker. Brian's coming to fucking drain your tank.
Oh, God damn. All right, I have thoughts. I have so many thoughts. Hello, you beautiful bastards of the internet. It's Tuesday night, and of course, that means I am live in Austin, Texas. My name is Brian Brushwood, joined as always by my BFF and OAK. It's JRY, Justin Robert Young. All right, can we take a moment and recapture the magic of this particular track? Because Stephen Cogswell always takes amazing stuff and makes it more amazing. I did not realize until my third or fourth listen to this track what he was actually up to with this. By the way, how you doing? What have you been up to the last few days?
Well, you know, doing the show.
What? You're acting like we
It's
do.
you on the road. We are. This is our third show in 4 days. And I told Bryce, like, with the only day in between being a travel day, not realizing that also all the other days were travel days as well. It's just been traveling and doing the show for the last foreseeable past.
I mean, that can't be true, because if it was true, it seems like my voice would be all ragged out and I'd be utterly fatigued and everything. But okay, so let's talk about this fish diss track.
Yes.
Because specifically, you know, we listen to Cogswell stuff. He takes lead, makes it into gold. You know, he takes whatever horseshit comes out of our mouth and figures out a way to make it musical gold. But in this one, I felt like there was some delightful commentary, because the fish diss thing was a very minor moment in last week's episode.
Yes.
And it was, I think it's fair to say, and maybe I hope you would agree, that I pretty much, like, you set me up a few times for, you know, like, oh, do you want to see if you can improvise some fucking real fish disses?
Yeah, because it's one of those jokes where, knowing Brian, it ends in failure eventually.
Correct.
But it's funny every time that Brian keeps getting the ball up in the air again, and then take a beat, and then there's more extended me yelling, and then it's, and go! And then Brian being like, fish, a lovely dish. And like, you motherfuckers, like, you convert water to air, but you're converting everything to L's right now.
Well,
I
plus,
decided that I need to start yelling 2 seconds into the third show in 4 days, but then it just, so those are the mechanics of it.
And we have seen episodes where eventually it just gets higher and higher, and there have been times in the past where, you know, the volleyball gets spiked right down and the gold medal is earned, right? This was not one of those moments. It was a very brief moment of us dicking around and me clearly having nothing. And so the first time I listened to this track, I was just like, okay, well, I guess I didn't have anything that time, and that's fine. And then this is nonsense noise, and that's what, I guess maybe, Stephen Cogswell loves fish or whatever. But then I listened to it the second time, and I'm like, is Stephen Cogswell making fun of me? Because I definitely was, and I mean this with love, because I love people who make fun of me, hence all the people in the room and the people on Skype. But it occurred to me because I was definitely soft in the mushy middle. And in the moment, the joke you were making was you were teeing me up. But in the context of a song that keeps promising to be the epic fish diss track, and I never get anywhere close to delivering, I don't know. I enjoyed that.
I don't know, man. You're not giving yourself enough credit for very confidently stating the words fish banus. There's just nothing that I find funnier on the planet, to the point where I just texted Brian that out of nowhere because I just kept thinking of fish anus, fish banus. Like it is the natural head and tails. The thing that you would immediately think of is banus.
I did very badly dissing fish, and it turns out that it's probably for the best.
I think it was the fact that Justin was so amazing at hyping it, though. I think it was
exactly.
a great time to showcase him, and not maybe.
It's like I'm
you.
over here. I'm like, don't mind me. I'm just I'm this celestial body that ran into the earth at some point and just rotates around the earth, and then the fucking sun is just like, I don't think so. You're a full moon now. Shine, motherfucker, shine. Now, let's hear about them fish banuses. Go!
Fish banus. Like, it's really funny. You should be proud of how funny it is.
I don't know. I'm certainly proud of Stephen Cogswell's ability to make it a wonderful opening track. Hot damn, man. How are you feeling after our incredible journey?
Dude, number one, before we get any further, thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you to everybody that told friends. Thank you to Brown Paper Tickets for randomly finding two people that have never heard the show before and thought that we were stand-up comedians talking about the early internet that wound up traversing their way into Scott Sigler's basement. Thank you to Scott Sigler and A in the biggest way for making sure that that venue happened, which was perfect, and the West Side Comedy Theater for our LA show. It was wild, man. I mean, it was kind of like, it felt in a lot of ways like a kind of graduation where like now we kind of like stuck our toe into the water of like, we're a touring comedy act. And by the end of it, it's like, oh yeah, we're a touring comedy act and we draw well when we go to different places to do shows.
So do we want to announce? Because I think we've decided, like, we could pussyfoot around and
no, we don't announce until we find like a venue. Like, and by the way, when you say that we've already decided, I made one sentence of a reference to you yesterday morning on the way back from Taco Bell. This is nowhere near done.
And I agreed. I thought that's how the show worked.
No. Let's take a look, because I think that there are a couple other things that we want to talk about in terms of what we can do, but.
So
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, first of all, quick report, and eventually you'll hear all of these, but the San Diego show was a freaking blast. Rock star, superstar, MC, DJ, I guess I'm listing all the jobs, is Bryce. He slayed it on the production, on the setup for everything, and not only that, but it was the most Night Attack thing we've done in a long time. It was just pure Night Attack, and it felt fucking great.
Oh, I mean, that one was, I think, very, very special because we needed like 6 signs, like it was a kid's birthday party, to get people down to where the venue was.
To where to pet the goats. Are you here to pet goats and you find yourself in an apartment building? Well, just keep going deeper into the pet goating labyrinth.
But once you got there, it was kind of ideal. It was perfect. It was just like 40 to 45 seats. It was a tiny little bandbox, so everything that was funny, everybody laughed really hard at. And then when we had the big spoiler alert, the big surprise of who else showed up in the middle of the show, it was just electric. It was perfect. It was awesome.
Dude. So anyway, that was a blast. And then the weird part was, and maybe this is a bit of housekeeping, like on the way down there, because much to the chagrin of fan and friend of the show, Benjamin Franklin, by which I mean the actual historical figure who somehow tweets us repeatedly, Ben Franklin pointed out that, hey, you assholes, your show is in San Diego. Nutty idea. Why don't you fly into San Diego instead of LAX? And then whatever. So we fly into LAX and then we drive it ended up being like a 3.5 hour drive. And along the way, it was great, man. It was like the days I remember going off to college or whatever. You know, you're ping ponging, you know, to see the parents on the weekends, and you're just riffing with a friend. And we ended up making all these characters and just riffing up dumb shit. Basically, we were doing Night Attack for only Bryce, and he tried to capture as much of it as he could on Patreon.
On the lens, which, by the way, I'm almost frustrated by. Although I love sharing these moments with all of Diamond Club, and specifically those that support us on Patreon. My favorite part of doing comedy material that is better than the shows we're charging for in front of Bryce is how angry Bryce gets when all the comedy is being uselessly spilled on the ground. Like if somebody broke open the comedy fire hydrant on a hot day and it's just shooting all over the place, and Bryce's anger and frustration in that is funnier to me than anything that Brian and I could say to each other.
He's like the crew boss when oil is struck and it's just spilling and pouring out everywhere.
Characters are going
He's just
everywhere.
Like, this is fucking money, people. What are you doing? Let's get together.
Yeah.
Bryce is like the girl you like in the movie who throws a party that gets out of hand. And it's all fun and games until it's like, no, not on my dad's favorite ottoman. Like,
Sweetheart, listen, Penelope, I understand that you're 14 years old and your dad's an internet comedian, but I'm about to go out on a trip, and I swear to God, I just want you to know that out of all the ottomans in this house, this is my favorite ottoman.
When your great-grandfather handed me this ottoman when I was only a 5-year-old boy, I knew that it would be cherished forever.
You know what? It's not out of line for me to say, you ever hear of a thing called the Ottoman Empire? Based on this, my friend.
She goes, the one that your dog likes to pee on all the time?
He's earned that. Have you? No.
Right. One day, but it's not now. Not until you protect this ottoman.
So, with that in mind, on the trip back from San Diego to LA, I set up one of our little lapel mics and recorded our 2.5 hour drive back.
I don't know if I told you about this, but the entire 3-hour drive, you're like, we decided mutually, it was like, let's just record because you never know. Maybe something like it's a real shame.
We talked about it the day, like the drive up there. They're like, "Oh man, this is good. We should have recorded."
Correct. So many dumb characters we had invented and scenarios and so on. Yeah. But then, when it came to that moment, it's like, all right, Bryce, flip the switch. Let's do this. Do the recording or whatever. And Bryce, I don't know why this was, but out of the corner of my eye, I saw you set down a device, and I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, that's a fucked up microphone. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to make a moment because we're being recorded. For anybody who wants to download an MP3 of 3.5 hours of Brian and Justin in a car from San Diego up to LA.
That's a fucking fact, man. And I will tell you what, there are two really, 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 really great jags in there. One of which is Alex Jones narrating
Planet
Earth
yeah.
documentary. And the other is
us crossing over. We there is a town in Southern California called Christitos, which I was saying, if you were gonna sell the transubstantiated body of Christ,
sure.
in a delicious chip format, I would call them Christitos.
Christitos. And so I don't know. You're gonna have to rummage, man. It's gonna be at the bottom of that ball pit.
It's near the end. It's in the second half of that. Yeah.
Oh, but my goodness.
Christitos is, but even Alex Jones, I think, was like 30 minutes into the drive. Like, there's a whole thing about E3 announcements that I don't know whether or not it was funny for anybody, but no, it was. Look, Patreon, that is the place to be to get all that, and we will get into more of the benefits that you get when we do the plug in a second. But before we go, Brian,
Yeah.
I think we do need to tell the story of what happened after the LA show, or as I like to call it, literally the only part of this that we haven't already carved up for public consumption.
Correct. Because we certainly referenced all the riffing that we did on the ride down. We talked about going to the ramen hut, and then we did the show, and then we recorded ourselves driving up to LA. Then we did the show in LA, and then finally, at last, on the 8th day, we rested, or so we thought.
Well, I mean, Brian and I are restless souls, and while Bryce and Tom and Eileen, where we were staying, were very excited to watch Terraced House. There's Christitos.
This is very
The cheeseburger flavored.
very fat of Christitos.
Love it,
This
though.
is great.
Love it.
They were very excited to watch Westworld and Terrace House. Brian and I had different plans because our favorite Sunday night show is sitting at a bar. So after a long night of drinking, we decided it was time to get a drink, and we headed down to what we hoped was
The
the
quietest
Ranchero
bar.
Yeah.
Well, well, we walked down to the Ranchero bar, the same one, if you've listened to the show, that I ended up shoving cotton
towels,
wadding,
napkins.
napkins in my ears, and then we quietly played Hearthstone as we drank Tecate. And then we were disappointed to see that it was closed. And it's like, well, what else is there? Well, let's go to, there's a bowling alley. It's called Bolero, and it seems to have a festive atmosphere about it. So we walk in, and that was the first weird moment, because we walk into the bar, and people are bowling. You know, we're hearing the clatter. That's what we're hearing of strikes happen. And we're like, hey, well, I'm glad we're at this hip happening bar. I'd like a Miller Lite. I'd like a whatever. And they were like, no. Stop me if you've heard this before. But I say, I was like, okay, well, why? And they're like, because we're closed. I was like, okay, well, imagine you're us.
Did he do that? Did he really?
Yes, 100% he did that. Also, they were closing because the guy was tearing the bar down. So initially Brian's just like, hey, Miller Lite. And the guy's like, no. And then they just kind of look at each other for like an awkward moment. And I'm like, are you guys closed? And he's like, yeah, we're closed. And so then this is what happens. Brian goes into his Brian casts Brushwood and asks in what language where we can get a beer.
Well, I mean, I say, you know, imagine you just had a hell of a day, real big deal. All you want is one beer, and we're at. What would you do? And then the answers were instantaneous. They're like, show up earlier, and then the other one says like, bowl instead of drink.
Now, I suspect, from my vantage point, that they thought Brian was asking for them to sell him and me under the table beer.
Oh, he was.
So
No,
that's what
well,
they
okay.
were-
I wasn't shutting the door on that option, but I was definitely not aiming at that. What you do is you describe your problem and you ask for a prescription.
What time was it? Was it this wasn't like
10:40 or something?
so
What?
well before all the bars would normally close in those
Well,
days.
it was a
It's
Sunday.
a Sunday.
Okay.
Shit
The
closes
Lord's
early.
Day.
Yeah.
And on the Lord's Day, the Lord was real tired, so he watched
Didn't
Will
you-
and Grace. And
Didn't
just...
you offer him some Christitos though? It's the Lord's Day.
we didn't have time to explain that bit to them, but if we had, we would have.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So we go to another bar right around the corner. And this is a bit more of a hip happening cocktail kind of place.
Super cool. It's one of those places that the moment you walk in, they look you in the eye and they say, Hey, boss, what can I get for you?
Yeah.
That's
It's
happening. That's
filled-
really hip.
It's filled with Brians who want to serve a Brian. So I'm very thrilled with all of this.
So we're having a good time, and we're chopping it up and talking about the shows and other stuff. And the next thing you know, also I'm wearing, for those of you who are watching us here on Twitch, the fanny packs that we sold at the show, and we still do have a few remaining. So if you want to get one, bit.ly/Night Attack merch.
And
We got that for the sticker packs.
Also, you're wearing the fanny pack. I did not know. Are fanny packs having a resurgence, like culturally? Okay.
So I've seen them around a lot more personally.
Yeah.
John Teasdale, my co-creator on The Contender, had recently went through a phase where he's like, no, I'm just unironically bringing the fanny pack back. I just don't like carrying shit in my pockets. It's better if I find one that I like that looks the best. But really, I've never had more confirmation in my life that these fanny packs, which were kind of like an ironic merch item
Sure.
for the show.
Well, especially given the fact that our entire outward-facing, hello, welcome to Night Attack, this 2 shows, we're going to focus on Web 1.0, late 90s nostalgia.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that they were so in vogue until we were at that bar, and all of a sudden,
Okay.
my fanny pack, which I am unironically wearing.
Don't dial it back, dial it back, dial it back.
Okay. All right.
Audio-
You have another steps?
Audio listeners, I want you to understand that the fanny pack is a fanny pack. I want you to picture not your this is not fanny pack 2.0. This is not fanny pack the apocalypse. This is not fanny pack 76 just announced at E3. This is original fanny pack. It's made
OG fanny pack.
It's made of parachute material. It's cheap. It's fluorescent
bright green,
green,
yeah.
and it's got the Diamond Club logo. Because again, this is us embracing unironically our ironic detached assessment of the early days of the internet of the late 90s and so on. So understand, I feel a personal shame for not wearing one the entire trip long. Justin does not mind. He just buckle up, click clack. Let's wear a fanny pack. Click-clack Fanny Pack .org. And he
buy
and
that domain name and forward that to bit.ly/Night Attack.
there's a brief moment I think well, maybe I should be a team player and wear fanny packs, and then the bulk of my brain is just but you'd be wearing a fanny pack, and then and
You didn't even bring one home, did you?
so anyway, the point is that Justin
They're
is a
called-
better person than me for fully embracing the unironic, no, this was 1996 and I'm gonna wear it right in your face, because if you have a problem, you're the one ashamed of 1996, and that's not on me, that's on you. Better person than me. Me, coward, not wearing it because I was I don't like who I was in 1996. I'm exactly who and he's like, shut up. Right. So anyway, Justin,
I actually didn't realize that there was so much pathos involved, because this does play into what happens.
there was a bit of turmoil, and there was me ultimately deciding, you know what? It's okay if we're 2 different people. I'm the kind of person who's neurotic and ashamed of himself. Justin is the kind of person who could give 2 motherfucking fucks and will wear an unironic fanny pack, right? So, and so I remember deciding Justin is the better person of the 2 of us.
All right. Well, let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
What would be your worst fear if you had unironically worn the fanny pack around?
Quite literally, I had an insane notion, a nonsense. You ever notice that the things you're afraid of are things that are never going to happen, and
Sure.
they're cartoon villains that will never ever occur? I pictured but if you do put on that fanny pack, what if somebody came in and said, "Hi, it's me, Scott Fashion, the world's fashion blogger. I noticed you're wearing a fanny pack. Ha! Fuck you. I'm Scott Fashion." And then he vanishes in a puff of smoke. That's what I was afraid of.
You're afraid of one guy saying the thing that you were wearing and then leaving
I'm afraid
immediately?
I'm afraid of one person with the authority who can say, I am definitively and demonstrably the world's authority on fashion, and you should genuinely be ashamed of yourself for wearing that fanny pack. Now, I see the face you're making, Bryce. And that is the face that says, Brian, that sounds highly unlikely.
Well, it's also the
Allow
face of,
me
like,
to introduce you
all right,
to the rest of the story.
please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one of us was brave enough to wear the fanny pack at the show
Sure.
and continue wearing the fanny pack, largely because I think he forgot he was wearing it and didn't give a rat's ass, and because he's the better of the two of us,
Oh my gosh.
to a highly fashionable bar in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
where we found ourselves drinking Tecate and playing Hearthstone.
Bryce, allow me to introduce you to Scottina Fashion.
Oh no.
Oh, she lives. She
Real
lives.
thing that happened. My living nightmare. The bizarre fucking fantasy that caused me, surrounded by friends, to not put on a fanny pack for fear of that an actual fashion maven would manifest themselves and shit all over my fanny pack and shame me for wearing it. The reason I chickened out and am a coward fucking is a real human being who did exactly that
Did she-
to Justin in public.
Did she shame him, or was she
Yes.
just all like,
Oh, no. So here's what happens. Everyone, imagine
think
it's
she
like this
liked
for
it.
Brian's fear. If somebody just had a tick where they just moved their head like left like every 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden one day a bullet fucking was going to hit them right in the head if they didn't have this tick. Like, he was totally right. Like, he absolutely 150%. We're sitting there at this bar, and all of a sudden I feel a grip onto my fanny pack.
And by the way, there are 4 people in the bar. Actually, I take that back. There are 7 people in the bar.
Yeah, 6
3
or
of
7.
them are Brian Brushwoods, who are very excited to serve hipsters who want to pay money.
So
for
bartenders.
things. Yes.
That's
this doesn't
that's
make
maybe
sense.
the
Like,
important one.
what?
but what I mean is they're friendly, they're outgoing, they're trying to build a moment or whatever. You've got I don't know the kind of music you would hear while you're midway through getting your beard trimmed at a upscale hipster barbershop.
Hipster shit is going down.
Yeah,
the hipster milieu is in the air. That
We
is for
are
sure.
on the very farthest end of the bar, the two of us, whispering to each other, talking about Hearthstone, and then on the other side of the world, Justin.
All of a sudden, Scottina Fashion reaches out and she grabs my fanny pack, and she just looks at me in disgust.
Walks
and says,
across the bar.
"What the fuck is this?"
Real, actual
This is
verbatim,
not joking.
word for word quote. Word for word quote.
Wait.
In L.A.
So who's got Tina Fashion?
No, Bonnie, that's not.
What are you gonna jump to the end where we reveal that Darth Maul's a gangster?
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that I just wanted to make sure this person is not like it was like follow me at Scottina Fashion.
Oh, we know.
Who that person is?
I mean,
No, we know it. All right. So
he has
Ah.
tattoos all over his face and the horns coming out, and he even did the double-bladed lightsaber to remind everyone of
Oh
his
my gosh.
bit.
Wait.
Okay, so
Scottina-
she's grabbed the fanny pack and she's made the first shot over the bow.
yes.
How do
So
you respond to that?
I very earnestly, I'm like, I'm excited because I've been drinking to not engage with other drunks at the bar because this is it's fun. You know, when I'm drunk enough that I don't care about my reputation because I'm not in a city that I live in, then it's like, fucking yeah, listen, if you're going to be an asshole, then I'm going to try and humiliate you, specifically because I have my buddy here, and no matter what, we're going to be on the same team. So I can just make jokes, and it's fairly late into the evening in terms of the drinking schedule, so most of them are going to be funny, at least if Brian and I, and he's the only person I care about.
Right. So we're at the point where it's like she comes up and she is number one, physically assaulting him by grabbing him and yanking his shit around, verbally assaulting him, saying like, what the fuck is this shit? And I could tell Justin is performing for me, and I'm just like, oh, I get it. Here's what's going to happen. Justin is going to show just how few fucks he gives about this rando lady who's clearly overserved, who's clearly drunk, how few fucks he gives. It'll be really fun for him to say, like, yeah, bro, it's a fanny pack. And she'll be like, a fanny pack? I remember those, or whatever. Yeah. And so me, I turn and I go ahead and concede my game of Hearthstone. I set it aside and I'm buckling in for the show. Yeah. I'm ready. I'm like, because like, no matter what, I mean, if she throws a punch, I'm ready.
So immediately, and by the way,
I mean, that's like, I'm trying to think of like, what's the worst it can go is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I would describe this woman in her 20s, right? Slight in her 20s.
Wait, did she have her ring on or not when she threw the punch? No.
Well, the verbal punch. She had a
verbal
ring
punch
on for
came
sure.
Fast, and so immediately my thought is, I want to try and sell her a fanny pack.
Exactly.
Oh, I love you, Justin.
Like,
you're the best.
What Justin sees is an open doorway. Like this is somebody.
opportunity.
Justin is and forgive me if I'm overstepping or if I'm mistaken here. What I am imagining and what I'm enjoying as I hold my Miller Lite in my hand is Justin essentially thinking like, oh, this is adorable. She thinks she can, insult me or whatever. This will be great. Oh, this will be a good doorway to introduce her to Night Attack and talk about what we do, and we'll entertain her, and it'll be funny. And then, I give 50-50 odds that she's going to buy a fanny pack before this is all over.
So what do you say?
Well, there's a little bit of that. Most of it is either I'm going to humiliate and waste her time, or I'm going to sell her a fanny pack. One of those two things are going to happen before we're done talking to each other. So immediately she's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh, by the way, the last
with
15
real
minutes,
vitriol
and real time.
Oh, sorry, say those words again.
The last 15 minutes of us talking have been literally 2 seconds of real time.
Correct.
In this story.
That's how important all of this is, because what is surprising is how instantly real venom comes from this person. Like, it is clear she is not having an argument with a random stranger whose fanny pack she disagrees with. She is having an argument with the establishment. She is having an argument with the supervising manager that touched her inappropriately 30 years ago or whatever. Like it is clear it is
really
not us.
Yes, it is others. He said, moving on.
So you were trying to sell her. You decide I'm gonna sell her.
So
a
I'm like,
fanny pack.
oh my god, yeah. No, this is a. Oh no. Here's what set it off. She grabs the fanny pack and she says,
Yanks it.
Who made this?
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's be accurate. More slurring and at least 2 F words. Again.
Yes.
Again.
They're probably, who fucking made this?
Wait. Maybe I can do it. I'm a girl.
All right. There we go. I need you to channel actual contempt, actual overservement, and actual rage at whatever this bag is.
All right. Who the fucking made this, fucker?
All right. Well,
Too much.
all of this is ironic parody of future lawyers when they find out who this was.
And now I can't even say that this is an unfounded fear, because the entire establishment of the story is that your unfounded fears can come true.
Yeah. Fuck it, in a real way. In a super real way.
Sure.
So I say, we did. We made this. This is actually our fanny pack. We've created these and we're selling them.
Now, you would think this is a great off-ramp, because if you want to shit on somebody's fashion, like, you don't go to a 7-year-old and look at their friendship bracelet and grab their friendship bracelet and say, who the fuck made this shit? And then you're like, I did at Scouts. And then at that point, you're like, I really appreciate that you're beginning your journey down the arts.
Wait.
If you would like to learn more about friendship bracelets here, I happen to be an expert and a world-renowned friendship bracelet entrepreneur. My name is Joe Friendship.
Wait.
His name is Joe Friendship, and he didn't know that it was a homemade friendship bracelet.
I mean, once you recognize that you're dealing with toddlers, you treat them like toddlers, right? What you don't do is say, no. Fuck you, toddler. You look like you're trying to fucking get in on my friendship bracelet business, and I'm threatened, and I'm going to shut you down.
So what we find, she grabs the fanny. Oh, she asks like, "Hey, can I see it?" And I'm like, "Cool, yeah. I'm focusing on the deal, baby. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to figure out if I have the Square app. Like I can go ahead and enter in her credit card right here at the bar. I can give her the fanny pack off my waist. Like it'll be great. This will be the greatest sale of all time. They'll write about it in the textbooks. The man who sold the fanny pack at the hipster bar." And she's like, "Can I see it?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I take off the fanny pack.
To be fair, you said sure like it was a fuck you just now. That's not how you said it at the time.
No.
Nothing but kindness and generosity. Nothing. And both, like me, my character through all of this is nothing but bemusement. Justin is bemusement and the opportunity like, well, this will be an interesting story. Let me see if I can take somebody on the journey that leads us for an opportunity to talk about these fanny packs. And I do believe him when he says, and he's thinking maybe I'll sell one of these fucking fanny packs at the end.
How would you describe her investigation into the fanny pack?
It's
Clinical?
no, because that would be professional. It would be patient, methodical, and kind. Imagine if you were looking for
Clinical but drunk.
no. Okay, imagine if somebody you hated the day before had swallowed a USB drive with blackmail on it about you, and then he took a dump. Imagine the contempt with which you would, with gloves on, just get through this fucking shit to get the fucking jerking left and right, yanking on stuff, testing seams like this is garbage.
What kind
and
of
contempt.
shit is you taking?
USB shit.
It was done with all the metaphor of a sorority initiation that would end in permanent marker and thrown baloney.
Oof.
Like it was
Oof.
mean. It was just a lot of very quick like zipping.
It appeared to me like she was desperately hoping for the moment that it would quote unquote accidentally tear apart, and that she could have some moment where she was like, oh, whoops, let me give you fair value for that, and then hand over a nickel and walk away. Or it was like she fucking hated this fanny pack,
wait.
and by proxy she hated us, and she wanted us to know it.
I kept thinking she was hitting on Justin, but okay. Now I'm finally throwing in the towel. I was thinking like this. She's just flirting with him, and it's going badly.
Oh no! This was not about that. Unless she's got a very weird way of showing it, but
some girls do.
She was in it to shame me for my fanny pack, and then when it became me gladly taking ownership of the creation of it,
trying to win her over,
became a different thing, because it is at about this point that we find out that she creates her own bags, and
we know this because she, after being unable to tear apart,
she tried to tear apart his.
She did a very fair approximation of trying to tear apart.
What a bad person.
I don't know. You know, she's probably delightful, and I hope her lawyers understand that I mean this sincerely.
We'll give
she's
her a
very
pass.
likely a good person, very, very good person.
You know what? Her friends probably overserved her on her birthday.
You know what? For all we know, she got Mickey'd when we were looking, and it's not her fault, and it's not the real person that she is. But
Absolutely.
I do know that factually, the security cameras will back up the fact that she fucking tried to destroy that bag and then immediately shat not only upon the bag itself.
Wait, did she really?
Yeah. Well, no, not actual shit.
Metaphorically shat.
But also, I remember her looking at you with contempt and hate in her eyes. And she and the word these words are almost certainly wrong, Your Honor. But what I felt was her saying, "Why did you do this?" I mean, is that far off from the attitude?
All right, so then she goes into the idea, and by the way, she's wearing her bag. she has a bag that is very nice and very well made and very well constructed, and it's leather and it has 2 straps on it, and it also serves a functional purpose. And she then, at that moment, this is the moment of humanity for this character, because even Thanos needs a backstory that you can relate to. She says, "Oh, I'm so sick and tired of going to these music festivals and seeing this, what you're wearing, these cheap, shitty fanny packs."
And she pauses to draw a breath, and then Justin manages just under the wire to say, "You mean merch?" like in that moment, Justin conveyed everything I wanted conveyed, which is like, you mean the desperate attempt of an independent artist to monetize their affection from their community just through even if it is made in China?
And she goes like, "They're such shitty and they look ugly, and that's why I made this. Like, I've dedicated my life to making these." And so now you realize that there is a deep personal pain. Somebody like you started like, "Oh, I'm sick of all these chain hamburger joints, so I'm going to start the mom and pop hamburger joint." And then McDonald's becomes the most popular thing on the planet, and all you do is have your own ambition rubbed into your face. This is who I was. I was this living embodiment, and then I foolhardily took ownership of the fact that, like, no, I'm Doug Fanny Pack. I make these. I'm your worst nightmare.
Now, here's the thing. I would be tempted to say that maybe this is a bad person, but I'm going to confidently say I think this is a person who was overserved in this situation.
Yeah.
Because...
Which, by the way, we can both relate to. There are plenty of stories of Brian and I being overserved. In fact, you might say that we were probably, by the legal limit of the law, overserved at the point that we walked into that bar.
Correct.
And we continued to drink.
Could have easily been arrested for public intoxication by virtue of casually walking into that bar and playing Hearthstone. "Excuse me, son, are you playing Hearthstone? That looks like a Malgios Druid deck. I think I'm going to take you downtown right now."
You hear that, lawyers?
Only a fucking drunk person would play that where everyone could see them.
You know, and the security cams will agree.
So,
Brian, now here's where we both got to turn the key. Because there was one thing before our big finish. She says the name of her company.
Yeah.
No.
She was like...
And this is where Brian, and emboldened Brian, now she's rolled over and revealed her soft underbelly, and emboldened Brian decides to step into the fray for the first time in this conversation.
I got my hand raised.
Yeah.
I might have opinions about this. So do I need to be like, just lock down the opinion?
I don't know. It sounds like Justin's setting up a part of the story that I need to be a little bit reminded on. Did I do something in the moment? What did I say?
Sorry, so you know the name of her
Yeah.
ex, right?
Oh, you're asking me right now if I want to call it by that name.
No.
Oh.
You
definitely
then
should.
started suggesting better names for her.
All right. I forgot about this. And now what's funny is as you were saying this, I was like, let's not call the bags by their actual name. Oh, what are some better names? And I suddenly discovered a file called betternames.txt. And I was like, wow, how do I already have these ready to go? And I forgot all about it. These are not the right words.
These
But
are not the right words.
She is very clearly having an argument with somebody who is not me and Justin. But she's directing it at us for the crime of having fanny pack on us. Also, the living nightmare.
.ly/night attack merch.
Yeah, bit.ly/night attack merch.
This is the crappy mugs that take up my kiln space, right? So I understand her position. a
Okay,
little
but
bit.
sure. I mean, I understand the impulse as well. But I would like to think that you would not hostilely attack.
Again, overserved. This is why this all comes up. And I will say again, the bag she made was really good.
It's really great. It's really
It
great.
looks
So
fantastic. And
she's
it was
like-
leather. It looks great.
She walks up to us wearing Keds in 7th grade on the playground, and we're like, what the fuck are these kids? What the fuck are these kids? And I'm like, these are Air Jordans that haven't even been invented yet. They were made by me, by my own hands. And in 7 years, I will be a billionaire by the company of, because there will be a basketball guy named Michael Jordan.
Basketball guy. By the way, somebody mentioned earlier that every one of Brian's extended metaphors, the ones that go from words 10 to 75, like all reveal some deep part of your soul. They all come from the same kiln.
Eventually, you'll have all 5 stones and you can eliminate half the universe. That's not a spoiler. But we are being full on fucking bullied. We're being
Right.
full on fucking fashion bullied by this lady. And then she shows off her Air Jordans, and they are fucking beautiful, and they're majestic, and it is a rad ass bag that I would pay $1 billion for.
You would
I will
not.
sell. No, fuck us buying this property. Fuck our marriage. Fuck your employment. I will sell everything so I could have this bag. That's how good this bag is.
Great bag. Hell of a bag.
And she's like, and they've got a great name. They're called excrement vestibules. And that's not the actual name of the bag. And I was like, oh, well, why stop there? And at this point, I am genuinely fucking offended at the full-on fashion bullying that I am seeing to my fucking life comedy partner right in front of my fucking place. Also,
On
I
Pride
canceled.
weekend.
I canceled a Hearthstone game. I conceded a Hearthstone game for this.
So you could be nice to her, and then she's fashion bullying.
Full on. And so I say, excrement vestibule. Well, why stop there? Why not call it
Wait, you started suggesting names?
a shit pack? Why not call it a shit pack? Why not call it
What are those things that
a
you-
diarrhea hangle down? Why not call it why not call it ooped, I crapped my bag? Why not call it
Brian starts naming like obviously obscene names, whereas like her name is like coyly trying to like play to like, hey, this is like from the other side of the tracks, like uh-oh, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, like Brian just saying just profanity and saying, you know, it'd be a better name, this profane word and your second word.
Why don't you just call it a rape kit? That'd be great.
Oh,
So before this point where
that's
you
her word, not yours.
Whoa, is she a rapist?
So before this point and before that part of the conversation, had you said anything to her, Brian, or were you just jumping into a conversation you weren't a part
I was
of?
watching bemusedly
Okay.
until she definitely transgressed into the socially inappropriate territory, the verbally inappropriate territory, and the quite literally the legally inappropriate territory of fucking grabbing somebody's shit.
All right. I mean, look, like she was drunk and she was aggressive. I don't think we need to go into legally anything specifically.
You are fighting a fight.
I sure hope there's video.
All I'm saying is that she all of a sudden said the name of her company, and Brian started saying, just like
It's
not.
you know what? Let me give you an alternate.
Brian had spent the entire weekend being hilarious and improvisational. We were at the ass end of our creative responsibilities. So the improv was less yes and more let me just think of every foul word I can put into this nomenclature.
In an alternate universe, we're the bullies, and we're like, oh, what? Are you recording a podcast? Oh,
Yeah.
ha! Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, because we do the best fucking podcast, and we hate shit podcasts like yours. Ours is the best podcast in the world. Then we show like a montage of all our best bit. We're like, and it's called Night Attack. And then alternate reality version of this lady says like, oh, why don't you just call it
Cum attack or pee-pee attack or poo-poo attack.
right? So anyway, that happened.
Now we know she is indeed overserved, because once this blows over, and it does blow over fairly fast, like this whole thing lasts about 5 minutes. we are finishing up, and they call last call at the bar, and we get our last drinks.
Am I remembering this right, Justin? Where it really kind of ended with you just sort of like using my favorite way to end all confrontations is by saying, "Okay," like
Yeah, no, it got to the point where you realized that she was drunk enough that she just kind of really wanted to keep talking to somebody, and the conversation for her would perpetually for the next hour be just have started.
Right.
So
And then
and ultimately, like, I just got tired. Like, I wanted to talk to Brian more than I wanted to talk to her. So I was just like, cool, yeah, no, I'm gonna burn them all. Thanks.
Wait.
I'm enlightened now.
This is how I imagine the evening ended. She grabs his bag. She pulls him closer and whispers in his ear, "Just say, sugar dates, sugar dates, sugar dates and pistachio."
Oh my God, that's a deep cut. My
Ladies and
goodness.
gentlemen, you get the pre-show and post-show if you're a patron in one RSS feed. So just remember that when you're about to laugh at Bonnie's joke.
So I think I need to get a little fashion advice from you, Brian. Like, this leads right into the story I wanted to tell you guys.
Wait, hold on. Wait. There's one big.
last
Oh,
beat.
wait, there's the last beat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Because
So-
I know what you're wondering. It's like there are a few great moments when Leonardo DiCaprio spinned that top. Does it fall down? Mm-hmm. We'll never know, right? This story, similarly, maybe we would never know. Like, was it truly somebody mean, or maybe somebody who was overserved?
It comes to a certain point in the night where Brian and I are talking, and then all of a sudden I look toward my comedy partner, Mr. Brushwood, and I see his eyes go wide as saucers. He's something that you don't normally see at a bar. And I know that Brian, like myself, has spent a fair amount of time at bars and has spent a fair amount of time around some crazy ass shit. So if Brian is looking shocked as if he is seeing something new, then something indeed new must be occurring right behind my back. It is when I turn around that I see what I can only describe as a man holding a woman the way that a figure skater or ballerina would, like where she has her arms sticking out and her legs sticking out. He has his hands under her arm and under her thigh as they very slowly, as if they were on tiptoes, spin around in a very small circle. There is ballet going on behind us, and Brian is transfixed by it, as am I, the second that my eyes glance upon it.
And there's just enough time for me to glance over at the bartender to catch his expression as the two of them very clearly just tip all the way over.
It was one of those moments where it's like it's impressive until it's embarrassing. Like if Brian starts to eat fire at a bar randomly, it's a crazy thing that happened. If I decide I want to eat fire at a bar, it's really impressive until my face and clothes are on fire, at which point it's a total train wreck. And so they're impressively doing it for enough time that everyone's kind of like, yay, you're doing a thing. And that's when the Twin Towers fall. And they just
and by the Twin Towers,
collapse.
he means both of the performers and all of the chairs within a 5-foot radius. Each one made of like aluminum and clanging and resonating like bells at a Christmas choir at church. It's fucking amazing.
And I look at the bartender at that point, and he, again, is like, oh, there's a funny thing happening at the end of my day, to what the
I saw those words mouthed. He was like, and then the eyes look over you, and I swear to God, memory can be corruptible. My memory is almost certainly wrong, but the way I remember it is him looking us right in the eyes and saying, mouthing the words, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like, if only I had the power to kick her out.
Exactly, because he sat by and watched as she fashion assaulted us, and then embarrassed herself by falling. And it was one of those slow motion falls. Like, that dude was working as hard as he could to keep her up, as they just very slowly clanged into every chair possible. It felt like they had spent 15 minutes rolling around the facility for how many chairs they affected. It was amazing.
I don't honestly know that I've experienced in my lifetime. Now, granted, obviously I'm self-selecting, once you become an adult, you decide where you want to spend your time and what you want to focus on and the places you want to be and stuff. So it makes sense that I'm not in a place where I would encounter that kind of thing. But I honestly am running through my mental, file of facts, because that was the thing in the 90s, along with fanny packs. I'm trying to remember the last time that experience happened, and it was fucking junior high. Fucking fashion shaming someone and deriving delicious schadenfreude when a fashion shaming bully fell on her ass because she was drunk out of her mind.
You know what though? It never happens. It only happens in the movies, is the thing.
It was quite delightful.
It was quick. It was quick.
Was.
She came at us pretty hard, had to be sent away, and then immediately embarrassed herself to the point that I felt very, very, very happy with the totality of the exchange. And if it weren't for the fact that we literally trade life stories for money, I would feel that this was a closed loop personally. But it was so funny we had to share.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Also, we totally made all of this up. This is a complete lie. This is a new bit we like to call lies Brian and Justin wrote as parodies that most certainly did not happen, even if evidence eventually later shows up
You never
that
actually
acts
told
like
the
it
person's
is.
name, though.
Yeah, right. That
That's
sounds like
the
a smart
point.
idea.
Right.
Seems like we got to the end of everything and everyone
the
enjoyed it,
whole
and we didn't have to say the name.
Aww.
What?
No, that's true.
I'll give you the name.
Oh, yeah. You better
Bonnie's
give it to
texting me
I'm
asking for it.
texting
Oh, I don't know
Brian.
why she's asking me. I wasn't
Wait,
there.
you texted him asking for it? Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, here's the deal. We did find, theoretically, if in this fictitious story we invented a website where we drew the bag out of our memory. Bryce, don't show it on the screen.
Okay.
But can you show Bonnie the bag so she can tell us officially whether or not it's a good
I
bag? or
literally do not know the story or the person or the name of the real bag.
Hold on.
Okay, all right. We'll send something over. But I think where we're heading up here is we want to get Bonnie's impression as an artist,
as
as
an
somebody
artist.
who's at the top of her game
Okay.
in the art world. I suspect you're gonna look at it and be like, "That's a great bag. And
That's
I would
a
love
great
those
bag."
bags," which only makes the bullying all the more shameful. I will say, not
know.
trying to
It's
shape
so
the bit that's about to happen
satisfying.
at all.
Because I've definitely been bullied in my community. And
All right, Bonnie,
they've not been
walk
shamed
over.
yet.
Bonnie, walk over and have a word in Bryce's microphone there.
All right. I pulled up a website, which we're not saying. We're going to hit the button that has products on it.
Oh, I see the name.
Bonnie gets the name.
So.
Oh, Brian, I really love your. Yeah, I could come up with all sorts of titles.
Better names.
Okay, number one, great bags, right?
Uh,
Never mind. You know what? You don't have to comment on the quality of the bags, but
No. I would like for you to very much review these bags. If we're not going to say the name, then please honestly review these bags.
well, I'd have
holy
to see 'em
shit,
on.
Jesus Christ! Sorry, I just saw the price.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
My impulse was, how much do we sell the fanny packs for?
That would be for $15, only $3 shipping and handling.
Man, if only I had 10 times that amount of money and wanted to throw away enough extra to buy an Xbox game.
I don't know. This is just. I guess this is just a different.
Go on.
Well, I'm gonna take my own money.
And by the
I don't
way,
like the way I sound over here.
if you
All right, talk
Bryce,
it out. Talk it out.
All right.
Talk it out.
No.
Hi,
click on
this is a
out
new
section.
segment, totally devoid from the actual comedy show Night Attack. This is, as many of our longtime viewers know, we always have Fashion Minute with Bonnie, where Bonnie talks about and gives honest reviews about products that she's encountered in the wild. Bonnie, what are you reviewing this week? Don't say what it is.
This week we're talking about a certain kind of. I get to say festival bag there, right?
It's a bag.
Yeah.
A bag.
It's a bag.
All right.
It's a bag that you wear.
They make bags.
Yeah, it's a vestibule.
Vegetable bag that you.
Well, I think
And-
it's a part of
It's
the
a
house,
festival vestibule.
Right.
To keep your...
Festival
Testicles.
vegetable. And, it has a certain look and it approaches a certain demographic. And it costs the amount of 3 of those festival tickets. So, it's for a certain type of person.
Bonnie, I want you
Yes.
to take one more look. Bryce, if you can bring up the about section of that website, you will see the person theoretically at the center of this. So Bonnie, just look at it and then come back to the mic and tell us about how physically threatened you would be / how funny it would be if that person went tumbling into a pile of chairs while trying to randomly attempt a ballerina move at 12:30 in the morning.
I would be worried for her little bird bone safety.
Patreon.com/Night Attack is where you can support the show. Head on over there right now. Patreon.com/Night Attack. This was a very, 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 very good week to be a patron. Not only did everybody who is a patron, if you have the Patreon app downloaded on your phone, you guys got live views from the road throughout the entire weekend. Bryce was amazing with that, being our videographer to the world. But also, in general, you always get the pre-show, the show, and the post-show in one RSS feed. It's so easy to do. Literally, you can do it on your phone. You never have to sign into anything aside from just getting the code once from Patreon. That is it. And there is patron-only content coming, including Brian and I recording all of our trip with Bryce back to LA from San Diego. That is a 2.5-hour sound
3 hours.
clip, and
That's 2 hours.
I assume we're probably going to send it out to everybody, but I'm sure patrons will be able to get it first. You're going to edit together all those lenses, right?
Yeah, the patrons are going to get all the lenses compiled together probably this weekend, so they can see it in one place. That'll probably be time exclusive for them. And then I was thinking keep the road trip exclusive to the patrons. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my
listen.
God. No, but there's so many characters. There's so many characters they'll never know. They'll never meet the old Pope.
No, old Pope's on there.
They'll never
Alex
learn
Jones
about the soda
narrating.
jerks. But the
lot
soda
of soda
jerks.
stuff.
The soda jerks
soda
were a
Jerks
gang.
are on there. Alex Jones narrating Planet Earth for a solid hour. That one went a long
It
time.
was a while.
I don't know. It's just I think we need to make sure our patrons feel something special.
Absolutely. No,
We would
you
hold
guys
that
are
back.
getting. We said if you supported us going out on the road, that you would be supported
The
with extra
entire
content.
marketing-
And God damn it if that wasn't right.
The entire marketing campaign of Christitos.
Yeah, that's valuable information. Don't give away my secret.
Oh yeah. By the way, Bryce
Old
doing,
Pope, what are you doing? What are you
I
doing?
have to.
Bryce doing out and out voice work. Like that. I don't know if I have ever seen Old Pope might be the first Bryce character.
Well, what was amazing was the moment that, like, you and I were doing a bit, and it was centered around as if we're marketing people around the Pope about Christitos, the delicious snack that's the physical body of Christ.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, just the moment we took a breath, we just hear the voice of Bryce, uninvited, jumps in, and with a very surprising take on the Pope, because he would think it would be like Italian or whatever.
No, he's just kind of old.
He's like, I'm just a really old.
But I run Christito.
But
Also-
he's very confident, and then gets very blue at a certain point. Like he just is he's working very dirty.
Also, astonishingly adroit when it comes to marketing speak. Like he really understands the difference of demographics.
The
and-
demo.
Patreon.com/Night Attack. Go there now. Pledge for whatever you can. Because if you are a new pledger or you raise your pledge, you can be eligible for the...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour.
So much. Who the fuck all?
So I just did something. Justin, I want you to translate this. This was an accident at first, and I tried to swerve into it. In the middle of all of this, I wanted to express support for my wife as an independent creator, and I looked at her and I pointed at myself and I said the word "I love you," right? And then
You're doing hand signals.
I don't know if it was out of habit or whatever, but when I went from me to you, I went to two fingers. And I exaggerated because I was mouthing my words. I didn't say my words. I exaggeratedly mouthed them. I said, "I love you," and somehow
Just realized that you were doing the pussy licking thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what just happened. That's just and then of course, because I realized what I was doing, would you assume without having seen it? I did afterward.
Did you then do a cocksucking thing?
You did say you swerved into it.
No, I just did it. I just did it on purpose 5 more times.
Oh, okay.
It became the secret communication became I pussy lick you.
So then you just became the edgelord older girl trying to freak out the guy at the Gap.
Yes, exactly. But you know who freaked me out?
Who freaked you out, Bri?
When he increased his pledge. It was like a virtual... What are you wearing, Bonnie?
Bonnie's put on some sort of...
I got this beautiful thing. This is my minute to win it.
Yeah, your minute to win it fashion.
Bonnie looks to be wearing one of the bathing caps that somebody in an old timey
Esther
picture
Williams style
would dive into the water with.
Yeah, sure.
And now making her way to the steel pier of Atlantic City, it's Bonnie Brushwood.
Her features include extra number 7 in the opening to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Why are you wearing this?
What happened?
Well, we can do the name chant hour and talk about it.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Bonnie, but the Crimson Zamboni points out, quick, let's fashion shame her.
That was my story.
Wait, you got fashion shamed?
No, not yet.
Oh, you were the one. You're the one. Let's see how the night goes, my gentleman.
I'm checking in. This is my checking in, Brian Brushwood, because I recently got my hair super done. Yeah.
Wait, you bought a swim cap to hide your hair so that you could reveal it.
Oh.
On the show?
No, I bought it so that I wouldn't fade all the color out when we went swimming on our vacation all week.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it was time because I had gray hair sticking out everywhere, so I was just like, I have to do my hair because I'm not going to go on vacation.
They'll know. They'll know
that
you have gray hair.
Exactly, and then I thought,
Justin, why didn't you feel an appropriate level of shame for your gray hair?
Dude, we're in the middle of the Patreon corner hour.
no,
We're
you're
not
supposed to
delving
be
into
doing
the
the
fucking
story
gender
thing.
differences.
All right,
with
look,
gray
hey.
hair.
Look, I'll tell you who's super cool. Nothing but rad in my book, hanging out. See, he's you know what? He's probably making an even better bag. It's called the better bag.
Good save. Good save.
His name is Daryl Ludwig.
Daryl Ludwig.
Ludwig. I said that right.
Daryl Ludwig. Daryl Ludwig.
Yeah.
Daryl.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Daryl. I'll tell you what. Let's just go ahead and hustle on this. If you're watching us on
explain to
Twitch,
us why you're afraid that the world will see a gray hair.
Oh, no.
Stay here.
Okay.
Vial82 showed up and was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, lady, I bet you got gray hair," and then you're like,
Yeah, but then Blue Front was like, "Hey, there are gendered lines on this that are unfair."
yeah, and then Pick Axeron was like, "I just want to pick some axes."
I'm
Yeah,
like,
but then a load of BS shows up and says, "I'm running for president."
I remember this because Stoic Squirrel was like, "I'm gonna stand here. Do you want your hair done or not? I don't understand. Why is this happening?"
Meanwhile, Poop Tempest is like, "I'm like the Tempest, the Shakespeare play, but with shit."
And then Bri Brushwood is just like, "Poop Tempest? Why not call it a shitstorm? Am I right?"
Meanwhile, Sebastian, who's over here, like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, leave me out of it."
So anyway, Shitstorm, the Apocalypse. That's a movie written by Im Jazarin.
Indeed. And also, you can support us on twitch.tv/nightattack. If you have Amazon Prime, you have money on you that you don't realize will go away at the end of the month if you don't use it, because you can subscribe to a channel on Twitch for free. Amazon pays for it if you already pay for Prime. So we're calling dibs. Give us our money right now. Go to twitch.tv/nightattack. If you don't have a Twitch account, you can sign up for one really easy. You tie your two accounts together. That's totally free. You subscribe to the channel. That's free to you. We get our money. That's that. Twitch.tv/nightattack. If you did it last month, you have to do it again this month. It doesn't auto-renew. I wish it did. I'm sorry. Please give us our money. We call dibs. Dibs.
Yeah.
Dibs. Dibs.
Also, we totally swear we're going to get to the dishes. It's just things have been really fucked up. It's finals and midterms all in the same week. They're doing finals and midterms at
I'm
the
just
same
saying,
time
it's
this
dibs.
week.
There's a lot of you might listen to a lot of podcasts. They might also be on Twitch. They might also be mentioning this. I call dibs. We call dibs. Twitch.tv/nightattack. Thank you guys for supporting us.
They're really great fanny packs. They're exactly what they claim to be. They're artifacts from the mid 90s.
I'm really happy with how they came out too. I feel like the logo pops really well.
I mean, yeah. I'm gonna stop speaking words because I'm afraid of what's gonna come out of them next. I love the fanny packs, and you're a better person than me, and other people are not as good as me.
Should I
somewhere
send
in
you
the
a-
middle? I'm in
Should
the
I
middle.
should I send you a fanny pack so you can take one on your vacation?
Yeah, I'll take a photo. Send me a fanny pack, and I'll take one on.
When do you
vacation.
guys leave?
Day after tomorrow, so you'll have to overnight it.
Shit. All right. It's
Yeah.
on.
All right. Or you can send it to where we're going, which is a ways away, to the moon.
I mean, it would probably be about the same amount of money because United States.
You know what? It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Hey, Bryce, we got a game now, don't we?
Yeah, we got a game from Dan33. Here, I'm just going to read his letter.
Go ahead and do that.
Sure.
I'm going to use the bathroom while you talk.
It's great. I'm glad you told me. So we all have noticed that the ratings on IMDb, the International Movie Data Internet Movie Database, are a little strange.
Sorry, I'm getting Bonnie's
Great.
attention. Not
I'm
yours.
glad that I had the attention of both of the other people on the show. This is working fantastic.
Sorry, go ahead.
I love you too, Brian Brushwood.
I just wanted to do hand signals that said "I love you."
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's fine.
You know, they have just the one that you can do that is the entire phrase. So we've noticed. So he went. So Dan realized that there's a page on IMDb that lists the top 250 movies of all time based on IMDb user ratings.
Wait, these are so. We're going to use the terms best movies, but really we're saying the most highly rated movies.
Top
because,
250.
Right, because obviously ratings can be high at one point and then lower as tastes change
Yeah.
for society and so on.
And he even says he is basing this off of the the ranking from June 9th, so a couple days ago.
Okay.
And so we're gonna go based off that. It fluctuates a little bit, but it's not like Rotten Tomatoes where it's a binary thing, and so everything is maybe a little inflated, a little higher.
Sure.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you we're gonna go down the top. What is this? It's 30. I'm gonna give you 3 at a time, and you're gonna tell me what order those movies are on the IMDb top.
Oh, this is
250.
fun. Okay. So we're going to be handed 3 movies, and we have to rank them not according to what we appreciate, but what we think the world at large, in a Metacritic way, has quote unquote scientifically diagnosed the art and said, no, Fight Club is better than Paddington 2, which is better than Fight Club.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And you'll get a point for each choice, each movie that you get in the right place. So there's 1, 2, and 3.
Got it.
So you just got to give me 1, 2, 3. You'll both go each turn. You guys want to do this?
Yeah, ready.
Go.
Okay, Brian, we're going to start with you.
Go.
These are the top 3 movies according to IMDb, and their positions have been shuffled from best to least. What order do you think they go in? I'm not going to say number 1, but round 1. The Dark Knight, Shawshank Redemption, and The Godfather. This is the top 3.
And these are current IMDb rankings. Okay, so whatever's newest, I feel like will have an unfair bump. So like Dark Knight, whatever it is, it deserves to be less, but it's more recent than The Godfather. And what was the other one?
The Shawshank Redemption.
But I also feel like the reverse. I feel like if something's old enough, we lionize it unfairly, even though it's not that great a movie. So I'm going to say The Godfather, The Dark Knight, and Shawshank Redemption.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
One more time.
Godfather is going to be the highest rated.
Okay.
Because God forbid we, ever say anything about the bag worn around the waist of Marlon Brando.
Sure.
But meanwhile, fuck the bag worn around the waist by that dude who fought crime. And then most certainly fuck the bag around the waist around the dude who kept getting bagged around the waist.
Okay. So your answer is Godfather, Dark Knight, Shawshank.
Yes.
Brian, I think that you hit on it because I think these are all ranked very high on that list. But I believe it is in descending order of release: Dark Knight, Shawshank, Godfather.
Really? You think Godfather is
with age on a? Well, I think that we are probably in the top 10, if not.
So, I don't know if I came across. We're going down 1 through 3. The next round we're going to do 4 through 6.
Oh,
so these are the top 3
all of
films.
these are the top 10.
These-
Shit! I thought these were randomly selected.
No, I'm
Okay.
sorry. We're going 3 units at a time. So this
So-
is 1,
so
2, and 3.
These are the top 3 movies of all time.
on IMDb. Yes.
Shit. Okay, let me rethink that.
Okay. I'll give you another chance to put those answers in because
I
not
think
clear.
that it's fucked up that Justin's wearing a fanny pack. I think that we should take a moment and really just shame him in front of everyone and then fall over dancing a ballet. And then all while shouting the name of our product.
Still on this.
Turns out, Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer didn't help him.
So your options one more time: The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
The Shawshank Redemption, and The Godfather.
Yeah, I'm going to go with excrement vestibules. I'll stick with my answer. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you're gonna stick with Godfather, Dark Knight, Shawshank.
And I think it's Dark Knight, Shawshank, Godfather.
Okay, you're keeping the same order.
Yeah.
Right. Gentlemen, your answers are.
We were both wrong?
I bet you it's Shawshank. It's Shawshank, Dark Knight, Godfather.
It is Shawshank, Godfather, Dark Knight.
So I was way wrong. Who
yeah.
was the wronger between us? Do you award a point or no?
No, we'll just go no points.
Okay, all right, no point.
Brian and I should play on the same team on this.
Also,
one.
a vestibule.
wanna do that? Okay,
A vestibule is a portal, not a vessel.
I don't know why you keep saying vestibule. Like vestibule is like a part of a house, right?
Well,
like,
it's an antechamber, right? Which
Yeah.
is a place that you would, if your body was a house, a vestibule would be the antechamber. That's where you'd shit into.
Isn't a vestibule like a cabinet?
That's what it says: an antechamber, a hall, or lobby next to the outer door of a building.
I don't know why we're still doing this. Round 2.
So if your body needed
Narthex. I'm thinking of narthex.
Narthex?
Yeah.
What is narthex? That sounds like a defense contractor.
It's a shit narthex. It's better than a fanny pack, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Fucking shit narthexes for the win. They're great.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
Fucking
Okay, so we're gonna play you guys against me. Round 2. These are ranked 4, 5, and 6
yeah.
on IMDb right now. Give me the order of Pulp Fiction, The Godfather Part 2, and Schindler's List.
Remind me where The Godfather 1 was?
The Godfather 1 was number 3.
So we're looking at... I feel like there's going to be some bias to get all the Godfathers close to each other. Like at some... Because these are all people rating it, and they're going to see this list, and they're going to feel like, well, all the Godfathers should be closer to each other, right? So...
Well, Godfather 1 and 2. I don't know if anyone's keeping up for 3.
No. I agree with that. But if you, for example, let's say you are okay. It's time for me to rate all the movies, and let's get to The Godfather Part 2.
Yeah. No. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that is a phenomenon because in the world of sequels, prior to like Toy Story 2 coming out,
Or Aliens.
it's always or Aliens. Yeah, Aliens was probably the other one, the first one, where it was like the sequel's better than
Right.
the original, or at least on par with like a great movie had another great movie.
Terminator 2. Yeah.
Terminator 2 was almost universally understood to be better, right?
Yeah.
Well, or just very different. I remember Martin Thomas from
Double Toasted.
I was gonna say Real Deal because that's what I keep thinking of. That's what he was doing at the time. He was saying like, I was like, hey man, am I gonna dig Snatch? And he's like, I don't know. Are you straight? Do you love your wife? No. Am I going to enjoy the movie Snatch? And how does it compare to Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? And he said it's exactly the difference between Terminator and Terminator 2 is the silliness factor, the insanity ramps up with Snatch over Lock, Stock.
Okay.
But okay, so I'm gonna say, Justin, I would suggest we go with Godfather 2. Then what's the one that's not
Pulp Fiction, then
Yeah.
Schindler's List. Where did Schindler's List go? That's really my question is on an internet list, what is the stronger instinct, watchability or Holocaust guilt?
The internet will not allow. The internet as a whole will not allow Pulp Fiction to be ahead of Schindler's List. So I'm going to say it's Godfather 2. And look, they can all be wrong. They can all be wrong, right?
That's true. I mean, I guess I would flip that. I'm with you totally on Godfather 2. I think that there is a push to get those two together. There was a push for the smush. But I would say probably Pulp Fiction would be the next one, and then Schindler's List. Because that's outside the top 5. And that also feels about where, hey, I don't know if I'd put Schindler's List this high, as great of a movie as it is. I think you see Schindler's List once, and then you're like, well, that's great. I never need to see that movie again. I can appreciate it for the piece of art that it is. I mean, like, if you were on a first date and somebody had a Schindler's List poster in their apartment, would you be like, awesome, this guy's a cinephile? Or like, I need to leave? Because I feel like it'd be the latter.
There are things I want to share and say that I will not because we're playing a game.
Your options one more time: Pulp Fiction, The Godfather Part 2, and Schindler's List.
Hey man, in order, it goes from God to Schindler to the Pulp Fiction.
Go. Lock it in.
Your answer is very close. In fact, you got 1 point. Which one do you think you got right? Out of the
Oh,
three?
I bet we got it wrong with
Godfather 2.
Godfather.
Number 4 is Godfather. Number 5 is Pulp Fiction. Number 6 is Schindler's List.
I never would have seen that coming. You were right and I was wrong, buddy.
That's right. All right, round 3. This is the 7th to 9th place movies. The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, 12 Angry Men, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Jesus Christ. In the top 10, all 3 of these?
Yeah. Also, I'm going to give you guys, not a hint, but remember that these are people rating these movies individually on a 1 to 10 scale. They're not given
necessarily
a comparison.
looking at a top 10.
There are at times concerted review bombing. Like I remember when Inception came out, it was like a thing that people review bombed it to the top movie, and I guess it has since lost momentum. Because like right now, somebody's going to IMDb and saying, "Oh my God, there's a whole website filled with movie information. Godfather, well that's the best." A 10. Godfather 2, that was even better. I wish I could do 11. A 10. Like that's happening as we literally play this game in a way that's not happening with newer movies.
Okay. Then here are 3 movies for you. The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, 12 Angry Men, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Was Return of the King even that good?
Yeah. It's really good.
I mean, okay, let me rephrase. Was it the best of the 3?
No, Two Towers is.
Right. So why is it at this station on the list? And
You want
Two
to know
Towers
why?
is
Because
not?
also it was the one that got critically recognized. Like that was the one where they actually gave all the Oscars to it, and they gave all the Oscars to the actors, and it always cleaned up special effects wise. But this is the one that's kind of recognized. It really gets all the credit for the series. Because this is also pre-nerd, remember?
Right.
Like before nerds ran literally everything, and we still had to deal with normies blessing the nerd folklore.
Right.
It's like, no. We're not going to remember every one of your magic wand spectacles. We'll wait until it's done. Good show, Lord of the Rings. Here's your Oscars.
So, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, though, is so far back that it's sort of like, it's Casablanca. You might as well say the Iliad, the Odyssey, and Casablanca, and Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and so on. Yeah. Okay. Let's pick of those 3. Which do we think is the top one? What was the third one?
12 Angry Men.
It's got to be 12 Angry Men. There's no way. There's no way they're gonna let.
No, I would be good because these are film people, right?
Well,
Like
I mean,
people
they're IMDb people, whatever that means.
Yes. So, but people who fancy themselves movie people, right?
Right.
I would say Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is Godfather-like in that it defined a kind of cinema, right? It was very visually distinct. I would say Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and then 12 Angry Men.
All right, I'll go with that.
All right, one more time for me.
That is Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Return of the King, and 12 Angry Men. Because 12 Angry Men's a writer's movie, but it's not really a...
But it's the definitive well-written movie, and it came out at a time, I guess cinematically it really is garbage. There's a reason we all experienced it as a play in high school and not as a movie. Yeah.
It's a fucking I Love Lucy episode, but it's really well written.
Your answer of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and 12 Angry Men is entirely wrong.
Yeah.
0 points.
Three
Goddamn,
variables.
it was right in the hot hand.
Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, number 7.
Bullshit.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, number 8. And 12 Angry Men at number 9.
No, we got the last one, didn't we?
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. You got 12 Angry Men. You got 12 Angry Men.
Flip-flop the top 2.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. You got 1 point. You got 12 Angry Men.
We knew that was the lowest one. Got it.
Apologies. All right, round
2 points. 2 points, Justin.
2 points.
Nice. For every point we get, we're making a donation to times we mentioned Night Attack bit.ly/Night Attack merch for your tour merch
It's
needs.
merch. Like that was the most heartbreaking moment is when you dropped all pretense and you're just like, it's merch. It's what people do.
Oh yeah, no, I know. There was a point where I was just like, we're just trying to give our fans something awesome to buy and remember this experience
And
with.
as you said that, I thought, oh, I bet she's gonna explain to you why the Gear Wars weren't really about the gears. And sure enough, she did. She's like, well, the thing about bags is, and I was like, you know what? That Paladin, I ain't played that in a while.
Oh yeah, token druid, huh?
All right, round 4. Here are your movies for places 10, 11, and 12. Inception, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and Avengers Infinity War.
Holy shit.
This is easily the trickiest. Because I am almost positive that I read when Inception came out that it had the number 1 spot at a certain point. So it is dealing with the falling trajectory of literally the top of the entire spectrum. So my instinct is to put it high.
Yeah.
But if it's even in the same fucking shouting distance of Infinity War, I feel like that also, like, if it's in the top 10, it might be in the top 5 tomorrow. So it's like it is in a meteoric ascendancy since it came out less than a month ago.
Okay, so are you smelling any descent into apathy regarding Infinity War? For example, I believe Phantom Menace, there was some segment that was reviewing or went back and revisited Phantom Menace reviews from 20 years ago, and they were like shockingly like a triumphant return for George Lucas, the best shit ever, and all that stuff like that. Are you smelling any of that impending regret when it comes to Infinity War? Are we in the middle of a hype bomb is what I want to ask.
No, because I think they stuck that ending so much and that became iconic.
Yeah.
And that is the ultimate validation for pop culture. Is if like somebody, like people on Twitter were saying like, oh, yo mama's so fat Thanos snapped twice. Like, you know, like if that's a thing, then the validation of that movie is
there's some visual effect that happens in one of the episodes of The Modern Rogue, and all of a sudden I just saw this bubbling up of comments that said, I don't feel so good, Mr. Brushwood. And I really enjoyed it. You could probably guess what the effect is if you've seen the movie.
So I will say it is the opposite. And if anything, the feat will only become more impressive as we get through all the hype of its competitors this summer and say like, no. Not only was this movie great, it is great in terms of like the fact that it's lasting, that it is still cultural relevant.
I think it'll still be delightful and fun and good, but I feel like 50 years from now, once we've tired of the Marvel main characters, we will still acknowledge that Inception is one of the greatest movies ever made. Did you watch the Plinkett review on Titanic?
Yes.
Where he spends half the review making the argument that it's the best movie ever made because it was at the sweet spot of the early days of CG, but also practical effects, and also there's tons of money going around, and also as a director, Cameron was a mature talent. But then he stops and he's like, now let me tell you how this is the shittiest movie ever made, and it leaves you to sort of decide. I feel like
and it also like objectively just rips off other movies about the Titanic.
Exactly. I feel like century long pantheon is where Inception belongs, because the people who don't like Inception, they don't like it for very good reasons, but there are parts that everybody respects very, very deeply cinematically, and I don't know.
One last time, your options are Inception, The Lord.
This is like literally, I'm looking for just any kind of sequence.
Inception, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and Avengers Infinity War.
You know what? I say we do the gravitational pull. Fucking Fellowship of the Ring's gonna be at the top because it's got to be close to the other one, and then Inception.
Isn't it weird that easily the best movie out of the trilogy is not the highest, either of the two highest ranked?
Don't understand it. I agree.
Like the Siege on Helm's Deep is the fucking greatest.
The March of the
Ents.
Ents.
Right?
The March of the Ents. I remember thinking, unbidden, out of nowhere, I remember thinking, AT-ATs. I'm an adult and I'm watching AT-ATs. I remember this feeling. This is amazing. But yeah, so I think that one's the top. I think Inception next and Infinity War third.
I would say, and I will just give you my list, and you can make the edits either to keep your list or to edit. It's Inception, Fellowship, Infinity War.
Well, we agree that Infinity War is going to be in last place.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's both of us responding to its newness and feeling like that marketplace won't overstate. I don't know. They'll like it.
All I'm saying is that I do know that Inception was once the number one on that list.
All right. No, I'm on board with you.
Yeah.
If you remember reading a thing, okay. Bryce, Inception is first.
Okay.
The Hobbit thing second, and Infinity War third.
You guys got 1 point.
Which, okay.
You know,
Grinding.
which one do you think
Grinding,
you got?
baby.
Which one do you think you got?
Grinding.
You said,
I think we were right about Infinity War, and I think I was right.
You were wrong about Infinity War. Number 10, Avengers Infinity War. Number 11, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Number 12, Inception. You got it backwards, baby.
Oh, wow.
That was again. That was my thing. Is that the one thing? Like, if Infinity War was even in that conversation, it'll be number one in 2 weeks. So it's like we should have bet high on it.
Yeah, it's on its way up, is what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
Wow. We gotta get that wow on the board.
Round 5. This is going to be for 13 through 15 on IMDb's top 250.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Fight Club. Forrest Gump.
Okay. This is fascinating to me because I'm sure I've told the versions of this story on the show before, but like Fight Club and Nemo came out very, very close to each other. And I remember realizing this is why I don't trust or should not trust Rotten Tomatoes. Because Nemo had a 99% positive rating, whereas Fight Club at the time on Rotten Tomatoes had a 65% positive rating. And I realized Fight Club is not for everybody. So some people will hate it and some people will love it. And I thought of the two pieces of art, Fight Club was the more important. It's the one that spoke to me. It's the better of the two. But Nemo is generally pleasant and well executed. Sure. Therefore, of course, 99% of the reviews are
It's a very
generally
good
positive.
family film.
Right.
Yeah.
But the idea that Fight Club is now that close to the top 10 of rankings in IMDb is wonderful to me. I would like to believe, Justin, that it's ahead. Let's start just with Empire Strikes Back. Is Fight Club ahead of Empire?
I don't think so. In fact, I'm shocked that Empire is this low.
Yeah.
It's the internet, and it's the best Star Wars. It is literally the only uncontroversial Star Wars movie.
And what was the third one?
Your options are Star Wars Episode 5, Fight Club, and Forrest Gump.
I swear to God.
No, here is the big question. Because the first time that I saw a movie that I recognized that I had enough of an awareness about myself that this is a hit movie because it won't leave theaters. It has continued to be in theaters forever, was Forrest Gump. So it's maligned critically now. It's remembered unkindly in history, where Fight Club is remembered far more fondly than when it was released. but it's more popular. So I would make the argument that it is Empire, run, Forrest, run. And the first rule of Fight Club is we're third.
Man, I was about to like get all fired up and say like I don't want to live in a world where Forrest Gump is the head of Fight Club, and I was gonna say, you know, I'll buy a garbage can bag before. But I guess
Jenny had AIDS.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Exactly as you told me.
Remember when Jenny had AIDS, but they
Yeah.
didn't say it was AIDS, but everybody knew it was AIDS because
Right,
AIDS was the
yeah.
thing that was happening at the time.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, everybody's talking about AIDS, and now this main character is AIDS, but he was also in the Vietnam War, and his friend made shrimp, and like we went on this journey of like this. Basically, it was like a girl talk album of white nostalgia.
I fucking hated it. It was a garbage movie. It was from beginning to end, and I tried to explain that. Unfortunately, I was like 19 or 20 at the time, and I didn't have the words or the experience or the backstory or whatever. And I remember my aunt saying like, "Well, you know, it's just a movie about the time," and then she had this wistful, whimsical view in her eye, and I realized, oh, you can't compete with that. Like they're not actually telling anything resembling a fucking story. They're just saying, "Remember this? That was a thing. Here's another thing that happened."
So your answers are Star Wars,
Gump.
Forrest Gump, and then Fight Club.
Fight Club, yeah.
Gentlemen, your answers are...
Yeah!
3
baby!
damn points. Star Wars Episode 5, Forrest Gump, and then Fight Club.
Goodfellas next.
Ah, shit. Okay, well. And that was the one thing I needed to keep. All right, I'll give you Goodfellas.
I'm
right.
to say, Bryce, at least Brian and I are the only ones bad at our jobs tonight.
Fuck me. All right, I'm going to give you Goodfellas because I showed it on screen like a friggin' amateur. That's number 16, but I need you to tell me number 17 and number 18 between The Lord of the Rings 2 Towers and Goodfellas. And The Matrix.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit.
Okay, all right. First,
About to get real. It's about to get real.
okay, so Goodfellas, whatever. It is where it is. We know it's the first of those. But
Number 16.
what a fucking crime that The Two Towers, definitely the best of the trilogy, is the farthest back. Why is that a thing?
I don't know. People are just bad. I mean, I guess like, because here's why. Return of the King is what got all the credit. It's what got all the Oscars.
It broke
right?
broke all the rules. It was the thing that started the thing.
Fellowship was the first movie that everybody saw and was like, oh, wait, I'm into lengthy ass. People are talking elven fantasy now. Like, look at me. I'm such a fucking edgelord because I liked Lord of the Fellowship of the Ring.
Lord of the Fellowship of the Rings. Yeah.
The fucking worst. Let's walk. Let's keep walking. This is from Clerks 2, which is probably not on this list.
The Matrix also is in play.
I mean, look, The Matrix is better. It's more
And
groundbreaking.
also, so here's
It's
the other
better
thing that I'm
told.
noticing is that there are certain years that are being overrepresented.
Correct. It's
94 is being
99.
overrepresented, and 99 is being overrepresented, and Matrix is from 99. Matrix was one of the, like, along with Fight Club,
Right.
one of the, like, 1999 was a great year in movies.
Well,
Which
because you had
keep an eye out for American Beauty.
exactly. Oh, you beat me to it. American Beauty, The Matrix, and Fight Club, all the same movie, all saying the same thing. Also, coincidentally, when I quit my day job in a cubicle and decided to become a magician full time, so I'm gonna say let's see that Matrix bump, and it's Matrix over The Two Towers.
You're picking The Matrix over Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and you are. That's right.
Yes.
The Matrix at number 17, Lord of the Rings.
Like, quite literally, American Beauty and Fight Club both have scenes in which the protagonist goes in and blackmails their supervisor to give them money for free because they're done giving a fuck of corporate America.
And then you did that.
Casino is next.
Casino.
All right, we got round 7. This is places 19, 20, and 21, rounding out the top 20. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, 7 Samurai, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
What was the first one?
A New Hope, 7 Samurai, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Those are your options.
Was Seven Samurai a Kurosawa film?
Yes,
Yes.
it was.
Do you think those are cozy in the rankings? Like it's some kind of poetic thing because all George Lucas did is take Kurosawa's Hidden Fortress or whatever and make it into A New Hope?
Well, that and Lord of the Rings. He ripped off Lord of the Rings, too.
Yeah.
No. Film students, they're watching these movies and then they're rating them on IMDb.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Seven Samurai. Seven Samurai is down because I think there are more geeks than film nerds.
Yeah.
So I think A New Hope is gonna be at the top. What was the third one?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's a great movie.
See,
That's
I
a
would say,
great
though,
movie, which is why I think it's in last.
yes, exactly. I think it's New Hope, Seven Samurai,
Yep.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
100%. So it seems like the complicated ones are always a little bit lower.
Well, again, like you have to think of it in the larger ranking and not
Correct.
necessarily the grouping that we're doing it in. But although it does help kind of to think of it in threes.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, your answer of Star Wars, 7 Samurai, and One Flew
By
Over
the
the
way,
Cuckoo's
we have
Nest.
won 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
Well, we got 1 point, and then we got a full 3.
Yeah, that's right. You got 2 points last round. 3. Oh, yeah, I gave
Yeah,
you
we got all 3.
Yeah. You guys got.
That's right.
1.
What?
You got 1.
One.
I need
Oh,
a, I need a
1 point.
middle. I need a
1
middle sounder.
point. Yeah.
Uh,
I got excited. For a
Number
second.
19, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Number 27, Samurai. Number 21, Star Wars 4, A New Hope.
No kidding.
Oh.
What a surprise. Oh, wow.
Oh, where do you get this made?
Wait until Nicholson gets Me Too and that shit'll sing.
It's a weird, like,
I'm just saying, like, oh, no, the guy who partied with fucking Roman Polanski at the party that got him fucking, kicked out of the country. I'm sure he never did anything fucking weird in the cold light of 2018.
yeah.
Round 8.
All right, we got
It's a weird thing for me to do. Like, why would I slander Jack Nicholson because I got this game wrong? Like, this is bad. That was me lashing out. Like,
it. But also to trivialize the Me Too movement and put your comedy partner in a weird, awkward
I'm
spot.
not trying to trivialize it. I'm trying to say that he probably did have it, but I don't need to say that. Like,
Number
yes,
8.
highly likely that
This is 22, 23, and 24. Your options are The Silence of the Lambs,
Oh, fucking stupid, overrated.
Saving Private Ryan, and Interstellar.
I am pleased to see Interstellar that high. I think it is a horribly undervalued movie. I think in some ways Interstellar might be as good and important as a 2001.
that's people voting the Nolan ticket. They're they're going to all the Nolan movies and they're clicking 10 on all of them.
Yeah, but okay. Do you feel, side jag, do you feel like Interstellar doesn't belong there?
No, not that. Like, I liked it. I don't think it belongs that high.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movies.
I will admit that I'm totally blinded by being a person who brought his teenage daughter.
About a daddy-daughter. Had a
I mean,
daddy-daughter movie experience with your
fuck it.
super geeky daughter who is somebody that would grow up to be the main character, and you would like to fantasize yourself to be Matthew McConaughey, and you got to go on a very emotional journey.
Correct.
Y'all are wild. Interstellar's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, okay. Look, we can argue about whether or not Interstellar is one of the best movies of all time, but I will flat out refuse to even discuss, as somebody in the chat said, it's not very good, which is fucking insane. It's certainly competent and well handled and good on its own merits. We could argue about whether or not it's one of the best ones ever or not.
And we're comparing it with
what were the other two?
The Silence of the Lambs and Saving Private Ryan.
How has Silence of the Lambs aged in a world where now every Tuesday through Sunday night we could turn on TNT and see some version of a woman as a detective dealing with a bunch of asshole frat bros trying to make good, but what we can't see on television is
Anthony Hopkins.
Straight up transphobia. Just straight up like, ooh, this guy's really fucked up because he's kind of like a girl. What? That's fucked up. Super fucked up. Do not approve. But
Of Silence of the Lambs?
yeah, I don't approve of that. It's straight up transphobic. It's fucking fucked up. But
I'm glad we segged from me trivializing the Me Too movement to Buffalo Bill is a transphobic abomination that we should shame.
literally is like fucking
All right.
make him fucking.
He's also a serial killer. He's a serial killer who's killing people in these Ted Bundy standards.
Sure, and I'm sure it was popular only because we were like, oh, I was so enchanted and horrified by the killing he did. That's the part I was really. That's people from the 80s saying that, not me.
This is the spiciest take on the Silence of the Lambs I have ever heard.
Okay, whatever.
That
Is it a good movie though?
Silence of the Lambs, Saving
I mean,
Private Ryan.
I'm tempted to put it highest of all of them just because horror is like not only having a moment, but like that is looked at as the moment that Hollywood took horror seriously.
That's also, I believe, the genesis of them taking what was a horror movie and just stop calling it horror, and instead they called it it's suspense.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. That's probably the highest then of these three.
Lambs. Highest, all right.
Those lambs are wicked high.
Yeah.
You still have
That's why they're quiet, is because they're so fucking high. They're trying to transcend time and space.
you also have Saving Private Ryan and Interstellar somewhere on here.
I'm going to say
Go Ryan and then Interstellar.
yes. And I'm going to call this the perfect trifecta of things Brian doesn't like. I think Saving Private Ryan was very, very good. I think that should have been the first. I think Interstellar should have been second, and Silence of the Lambs should have been third. But I agree with the take that you just said. And
By the way, I think if you walk into somebody on a first date and they have a Saving Private Ryan poster in their room, like, you shouldn't walk out immediately, but they're probably boring.
why? Because
Wait,
World War
you think
II was boring.
The person who puts up a fucking Saving Private Ryan poster.
Oh, got it. Because it's very just
they're
traditional.
so fucking interesting. They're gonna be endless surprises around every corner. They liked Saving Private Ryan after all.
Remember that big twist at the end where the whole movie was the memories of a guy who's not the guy at the beginning? Very clearly they indicate that, oh my God, I'm remembering when I stormed the beach at Normandy. Only psych, it wasn't me. It was some dude who died during the movie. Also, I'm just Matt Damon really old. It has nothing to do with
That's
that.
just me.
All right, your answer was Silence of the Lambs, Saving Private Ryan, and then Interstellar.
Yeah.
Your answer is
And you'll always be a
Oh,
loser.
this is great. I'm excited.
100% incorrect.
Maybe I'll be happy. Maybe I'll be happy with how it turned out.
Number 22, Interstellar. Number 23 is The Silence of the Lambs. Number 24, Saving Private Ryan.
Not bad, not bad. The only thing I don't like is that
Load the ticket,
Saving
man.
Private
Load the
Ryan
ticket.
should be ahead of Silence of the Lambs. Interstellar is unfairly maligned. It's a good movie. It's really
Very
great.
good movie.
Okay, I'm not shitting on Interstellar. It shouldn't be in the top 25 of all movies. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, man.
I mean, come on.
Well, okay.
If I just
I-
went to you and said, name your top 25 movies, you would name 25 before you got to Interstellar.
I don't know about that, but I will say this. I will say that it is a crime that 2001 is not ahead of Interstellar. I'll meet you in the middle on that one.
All right.
Okay, we got 2 more rounds here. We're doing number 25, 26, and 27. Your options are Spirited Away, Leon the Professional, and 7.
What the fuck? You're telling me Leon the Professional and 7 are fucking ahead of 2001? The fuck is wrong with this world?
By the way, is Luc Besson running the goddamn Click Farm? How the fuck does he get fucking 2 movies up that high? Like right next to each other. That is some Luc Besson fucking Click shit.
All right, one more time.
One more time. 7. Your options are 7, Leon the Professional, and Spirited Away.
Wait, which 2 of those are Luc Besson?
Leon the Professional is Luc Besson.
Yeah, no, I know that, but
I don't know the other.
what's the other one you're talking about?
For whatever reason, I thought you said something else. I thought you said the Luc Besson. What's the sci-fi movie he did?
What?
Fucking
Fifth
Corp
Element?
Alice Multipass.
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I thought that I heard that instead of Spirited Away. for some
Gotcha.
reason.
No.
Spirited Away was the Miyazaki movie, right?
Yeah, no, that's the anime, right? Yeah.
All right, so let's just give that. It's got to be Spirited Away.
It's the internet. Fucking these weebs got to do something with their goddamn fingers, except for jacking off the tentacle porn.
Dude, all of the fucking Miyazaki shit is so weird. It's just like it's
I'm
like
lashing out. I'm just like, why am I lashing out like
so
this?
mad.
This is-
I've never seen you get mad over movies like this.
well, you've never seen him fucking fashion shamed by a bully in LA, in the fucking fashion capital of the West Coast of Southern California. Somebody came
Clearly
in
I haven't,
and with credibility, like that's the worst part, is like she didn't just bully him like some random person.
painted a
Move on.
Great picture already. So you're putting Spirited Away at your top choice.
No, I mean I hate
Or
it.
you were.
I hate all the Miyazaki movies. It's great, they're beautiful, whatever, but it's just like, what if we had a first act and nothing else? What if that's it? Or I guess I don't know, maybe it's a second act only. Let's skip the first act, go straight into the second act, and just sort of, I don't know, be there for a bit. What was the one where where people went tiny and literally nothing happened?
Honey,
and then
I Shrunk the Kids.
What?
Yeah,
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. And that one had 3 acts.
I don't know the name of that.
Okay,
but
Spirited Away, 7.
your options are
Leon?
Spirited Away, Leon the Professional, and 7.
I never saw Leon, so I'm gonna have to guess that it'll be 7. No, it'll be Spirited Away, then it'll be 7, then it'll be Leon.
You never saw Leon?
I mean, I saw all the clips that mattered.
Man, that was a great time.
Yeah.
Are you?
Young enough to unironically jerk off to Natalie Portman.
Hoo boy, that's a child you're talking about.
When I was a child.
Man, well, now you're producing intellectual child pornography between 2 children.
The thought police are on their way, Justin. Don't let your mind wander
Unless
too
the
far
fucking
away.
Time tops. I'm clean as a whistle, baby.
my favorite bit on the recent Natalie Portman appearance on Saturday Night Live was when when she talks about her own kid, who are you into? Like, it's not mine, whatever. Like, that was amazing. All right.
Oh yeah, the new Natalie Portman rap.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Justin, you're co-signing Spirited Away, 7. and
Sure.
Leon.
Yeah. No, I'm with whatever Brian says. I'm gonna look up when The Professional came out. So I just
You're gonna figure out how old you were and just how inappropriate it was to jerk off to Natalie Portman.
All right, your answer is
11 years old.
Jesus Christ.
You know what'll be great is when, as part of the lawsuit taken out against us, they have to watch this whole episode.
Yeah. Remember when he was really confident about a thing and then thought he was a pedophile and then saw the numbers?
I don't know what happened to this show. I know we're all very tired.
We've done a lot of shows. It's great.
Much like Multiplicity, which I hope is on this next list of three.
Jesus Christ, Multiplicity.
The correct order.
Well, this is again our third show in 4 nights.
We're
When
a
you
copy
make
of a copy of a copy.
It's less sharp.
Yeah.
The correct order was 7, Leon the Professional, and then Spirited Away at 27. Whoa, you made something click. I hope everything's okay over there. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Your final round, you guys have 10 points.
That's good because we need more than 10 to save the orphanage.
Yeah, you need 11 points to win.
Oh, jeez, so close. I'm excited.
So hopefully you get one of these right. 28, 29, and 23 and 30 are between the options Life is Beautiful, City of God, and The Usual Suspects.
God, these people love voting up Holocaust movies, huh?
How many of these have you guys seen?
Saw
All three of
Life
them?
is Beautiful. What were the other two?
Your options are Life is Beautiful, City of God, and The Usual Suspects.
I don't know. City of God.
Oh, City of God's rad. City of God's really, really good.
2002.
That's one of those in the same vein. Like imagine South American foreign film.
Got it.
Snatch.
Okay, but like, is The Usual Suspects a better movie than 2001? Is that where we're at? like they're like, I don't know, bro.
Again, by the way, Brian, when did it come out?
1995, I believe.
Usual Suspects is 95. Yes.
Yeah.
95. Yeah.
Man, I'm in uncharted waters at this point, Justin. I'm gonna let you drive. We just need 1 point to save the
You only
orphanage.
need 1 point. Otherwise, I'm gonna kill these kids, Brian.
No,
You
Wow.
should. They're just old enough to jack off to Natalie Portman. in the
Man,
first-
you're a real dirtbag. Fuck you.
What is what is that list again?
Your options are Life is Beautiful, City of God, and The Usual Suspects.
So I'm going to say it is Usual Suspects, Life is Beautiful, City of God.
Also, all three of these worse movies than Children of Men.
No.
Children of Men was fucking.
Okay, I'm not here to shit on Children of Men. I'm just saying that like Usual Suspects was
Okay, no, I'll grant you
effective
Usual
career,
Suspects,
had
but
so
but
many awesome actors.
these other movies that I didn't see, Life is Beautiful was I don't know. It seemed like it's like, oh, here's a button we can press. We pressed it real hard, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, Life is Beautiful is
No, nobody is saying. There's no film class where they're saying, "Oh my God!" And the cinematography and Life is Beautiful is just, oh yeah.
No.
Listen to
That was
sound
all
design.
like Roberto Benigni being recognized for being Roberto Benigni, and I watched another old Italian film of his in college called Gianni Stecchino.
Yeah.
It was like the dumbest fucking movie.
Did you
It was
jerk off
like,
to that?
yeah. Then I jacked it. All right. Anyway,
All right. All right. Starting at number 30, you said City of God.
wait, no. I know. I didn't say City of God.
I'm going to the bottom.
There's 30. Okay, from the bottom to the
bottom.
top. Gotcha.
For number 30, your low rank, you said City of God. That was incorrect. For number 29, you said Life is Beautiful. That was incorrect.
No!
Wait, we could get this last one though.
And your top choice of The Usual Suspects is...
We saved the orphanage! We done did it! Oh, Justin! Despite 3 days of live night attacks, just constantly in a row, despite being fashion shamed by somebody who was in a more powerful position than we were. We somehow did it, and we saved the orphanage.
And by the way, for everybody, including you, Brian, who's grousing about like, Alice is not above blank, and you can go on this site, go fucking get an IMDb credential, vote your goddamn heart's content.
That's right. Or you can.
Who did this one?
This is Dan33, who's in the chat right now. Thank you, Dan33. And if you have an idea for a game you want us to play on the show, send it to mail@nightattack.tv. And if we use it, we will send you a sticker pack. Dan is going to get a sticker pack.
Hell yeah, he is. Tell you what, he might even get the SoCal merch sticker pack.
Can you? Well, it's a fine bag, Justin. You should feel really good about sending it.
maybe we'll just look at the top 250 on IMDb in the after show. Try and make everyone feel good. How about that?
Yeah, right. Right. Whatever your favorite movie is, it's in there somewhere. Holy cow. Hey, man, let's burn through the rest of this stuff. You want to take a moment, do a little bit of Diamond Time?
Hell yeah, Bride. Diamond Time is where you can shout out your project. Just head on over to reddit.com/r/Diamond Club and find that big old green sticky post at the top of the page. Shout out whatever the hell you want. Top 3 get read on the show. TSCN Sam writes, hey there, Diamond Club. Have you been loving the Doctor Who stream that's been going on over on Twitch lately, but wish you had some supplemental material to go along with the experience? Why not check out Going Through Who, the show that goes through all the existing Doctor Who 1 stories at the time from the beginning. New episodes come out every other week on tscn.tv/GTW. We look forward to seeing you aboard. Samuel/TSCN Sam.
Yeah, the Fakest News writes in saying, sup, chat realm, I'm Paul Defoe, and on my new show, The Fakest, we cover the fake news for reals. Along with the best news team in the business, I break the fake news from the worlds of politics, sports, entertainment, and even zombie presidents. If the news is #breaking, it's probably the fakest who's breaking it. It's banging. You might just hear a few familiar voices along the way. Subscribe to the link below for 3 exclusive preview clips. We go live June 18th. Can we listen to a random little snippet of this?
Not from. We don't have iTunes on this computer. I don't no.
No, I'm sure it's great.
I think I've seen friend of the show Bill Meeks retweeting about this. In fact, if I had a wild hair,
that kind of does look a little Bill Meeksy on the cover. I'll tell you what, it'd be crazy if there were a traffic correspondent that sounded quite a bit like me and was unsolicited singing to the point where they edited together an entire pop song.
Man, while I think about it, it would be super weird because, you mentioned Bill Meeks. That makes me think about where we grew up outside in West Houston near Katy, Texas. Bill Meeks grew up in that area, and it occurs to me that both of us might have watched Channel 13 ABC News, including a character that was one of the bases for Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, Marvin Zindler. It would be crazy if he was doing some kind of report on there. I don't know why I'm bringing it up because,
seems very specific.
I'm just saying that is a specific thing that I think would be very crazy if it were true, but luckily, I have no knowledge.
I didn't get emails from Bill Meeks at all. So,
by the way, if you haven't, if any of y'all motherfuckers slept on how amazing Bill Meeks is in terms of production, like old school Diamond Club heads will know that Bill Meeks is fucking amazing at production stuff. But go look up his fake Kickstarter video.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh my God! Actually, can we take a moment and re-experience that? See if we can find it.
Well, tell you what. While Bryce looks for that, I'll read this. Oppie1984 says, "Hey, Diamond Group, it's your Orwellian yodeling big brother, Oppie1984. Long story short, 4.5 years ago, my mom retired from our local community college after helping start their nursing program and teaching it for 23 years. After 2 weeks of retirement, she got bored and started tutoring and asked me to help her set up an online tutoring site for nursing students. So after 3 years of setbacks, we finally got this site up and running. If you or anyone you know is in school or about to go to school to become an RN, go to nursetutor.net and use the coupon code Diamond Club for 20% off site-wide. If you just want to try out, sign up for the respiratory failure course. It's free for life. Thank you from Mike, Oppie 1984.
Hey, let's watch the best Kickstarter video ever.
Yeah, this is from our friend Bill Meeks.
I'm Bill Meeks. You probably already know me from my performance as Thumper in the 1987 Grafton Elementary performance of Bambi. Or this video. From actresses like Veronica Mars and Zach Braff to Double Fine's adventure video game show, Kickstarter has revolutionized the way artists get funding for their creative projects. All of these projects succeeded because they had a great video, so I'm planning on launching the best Kickstarter ever. Sorry, the best Kickstarter video ever. I've spent over almost a full day coming up with the plan for the ultimate Kickstarter video. My video will be filmed at Fox Studios in Foreign, Australia, home of the Matrix movies, mate. This means it will feature the latest in high-fidelity special effects. Right, Bill? Right, Bill? It will star Christian Bale as Batman and the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park as the villainous barbershop quartet.
Cookies and cream.
A Kickstarter video of this quality doesn't come cheap, which is why I need your help. Who, me? Issue. To make this video, I only need $73 million, which is a small price compared to some Kickstarter videos. Where will the money go, you ask? $20 million goes to renting the studio. $10 million covers Batman and the dinosaurs. $5,000 will go to pay my editor / special effects / cousin guy Hubert, and the rest will cover my fact-finding mission in exotic locales like Peru, Jamaica, and Orlando. I've come up with some great rewards for you too. Pledge $5 or more and you get a naked picture of me with my fully visible. For $10 or more, I won't send you a naked picture of me with my fully visible. For $50 or more, you receive a VHS copy of the final Kickstarter video. The higher levels include sending a real singing raptor to your child's birthday party, or I will think about you while making the video, or at the highest executive producer level, you get to come up with the Kickstarter project the video will be promoting. You get to be involved, and I don't have to come up with an idea for this Kickstarter, so I can concentrate on making this video the best Quickstarter video ever. With your money, I can make my dream my reality. Thank you for your help. And remember, if we don't fund in 30 days, I don't get a penny. But you don't have to take my word for it.
I believe in this video. Dinosaur. Cookies and cream.
that middle finger ending, it feels so so red letter media. It's like, whatever, it's over, go.
Dude, listen, so in case you were wondering, the fakest, get that shit on your radar immediately. Spoiler alert, it's a really funny podcast produced by Bill Meeks starring Brian and I.
Motherfucker, why the fuck would you do that? Nobody had that idea. Now, the bag lady, she's like, I'm the bag lady. I'm going to mess up your podcast and your bags.
Because we haven't talked enough about movies, let's go to the movie draft minute.
Welcome. Any bags in this movie?
CosmicRadio.tv for the week of June 11th, 2018. I'm your host, Roberto Villegas. I'm going to try to get to this quickly because I've got a lot of E3 news to catch up on and a few more replays of a certain Cyberpunk trailer. So with that, let's just go check the scoreboard. Team Chips Bitch is in 6th place with Ocean's 8 bringing $45.9 million, bringing the total to $164.7 million. Team John Trekker's in 5th place with $202.2 million. Team Night Attack is in 4th place with $255.4 million. Team Tell It Anyway is in 3rd place, $280.8 million. Team Core Killers is in 2nd place with $414.7 million. And in 1st place with Hereditary bringing in $15.2 million, bringing the total to $715.5 million. It's Team DTNS. And that is your movie draft minute for the week of June 11th, 2018.
Name a number for Jurassic World. I could give you one number. It's 59%, which is the freshness rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Not doing great. Not doing great. But
The first one at.
I also watched I was at a 59%, Jesus. I was at a bar and they went to commercial break in the middle of a golf thing, and there was an ad for Dairy Queen, but I didn't know it was a Dairy Queen ad because it just kept showing clips from Jurassic World, and then that ended, and I guess I was supposed to buy a Blizzard. Then there was an ad for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and then there was an ad for the fact that it was Jurassic Week on some late night show featuring all the actors from Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah. It's pretty out there in terms of the ads. I mean, it's saturated. That was, again, one of the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I hope. I mean, I think the first one was a gigantic surprise, right?
What do you guess the Rotten Tomatoes rating for Incredibles 2 is?
Without looking at it, it's Pixar, beloved franchise. Never thought you'd see the sequel. 87.
97%.
So it's in that rare Pixar realm
where it's both a Pixar movie and tremendously awesome.
Well, I mean, in that it's a Pixar movie, and most Pixar movies are really good, and they get rated really highly on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sure, but also, I mean, not all of them. Cars 2 got really savaged on Rotten Tomatoes. That was one of the
Pixar movies other than the Cars franchise.
Okay. Yeah. So
another one?
Well, I don't think WALL-E did that great. I think there were some haters on WALL-E. And certainly the Good Dinosaur, whatever that one was, or the Last Dinosaur, or whatever.
Good Dinosaur, maybe. Okay, so by the way, Jurassic World got 71% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, and Fallen Kingdom is getting 59.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna win the draft. I think John Trekker is.
This was a movie that was fairly savage. I mean, 71 for a movie that was in the top 5 is low compared to the 97 of Incredibles 2, right?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I think we're gonna lose. I think John.
By the way, this is some of the top 3 reviews. If I just scroll down on Rotten Tomatoes on Jurassic World, again, one of the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time. So basically, Jurassic World is a big budget indictment of corporate greed jammed with product placement for Samsung, Mercedes-Benz, and Beats by Dre and Coca-Cola. The characters are paper thin, but that doesn't matter because their sole purpose is to get chomped. There's plenty here to divert, but little to leave you enraptured. Such is the fate of the sequel. Bigger, louder, fewer teeth.
It's pretty great. I'm down with everything that was just spoken. That sounds like a movie I want to watch.
What I'm saying is that Jurassic Park, as a franchise, has a near monopoly on dinosaurs are going to eat these motherfuckers.
Sure. I mean, yes. And lightsabers.
That's a date night.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, so you think it'll make, what do you think it's going to make?
Well, the first one was what?
450.
Basically, I like it to make more than anybody expects it to make because Jurassic Park movies tend to do well if they're just competently told. Not special, but competent.
The first Jurassic World was, I believe, 450. So we pegged it as if this makes more than 300, we're happy. Do you think it's going to make 300?
I think it's got a shot. I mean, you never know, but people love fucking dinosaurs, man. And I think that they're marketing it right. in that they're just showing, like, most of their commercials are not like chopped up stuff. It's
Right.
like one scene of Bryce Dallas Howard and this new guy fucking avoiding a velociraptor in a room where lava is dripping. And it's like,
I've not seen that.
I get lava and a dinosaur and somebody who might get eaten but might get out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey,
can we stop doing shows now?
Yeah, are we done, boss? Did we make enough of the night attacks?
Do we make enough shows? We've done so many shows lately.
It's been a lot of shows. No, but seriously.
Hey, look. One more time, thank you to everybody who came out. Like, honestly, if Brian had his druthers, we'd already be announcing where we were going without locking down venues. But I think we are definitely, for those of you, we got asked a lot. Hey, what are the numbers? How did everything come out? You
We're
said that this
very
was
happy. How about that? We had the best time. It was so good. The biggest success beyond our wildest dreams. It was. I'm so excited about how everything went.
So we are planning something else. Hopefully it'll be, I would say there's no reason why it wouldn't be this year. So keep an eye out. It's going to be an awesome time.
Yeah, man. Look, we love you guys. Thank you for being everything that you guys are. Thank you for making our dreams possible. We love you so much. Do us a favor. We'll see you next Tuesday.
9 to 5.
Night attack. I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.